Sometimes a little near-death experience helps them put things in perspective. On cue, Eddie fell violently ill, retching and screaming in agony as Grace rushed him to the hospital. Afterward, in the White House Family Theater, Bill and Hillary were completely silent. "We all wanted to slide under our chairs," recalled French, a friend of both Clintons from Arkansas, who herself had been through a bruising divorce several years earlier. "Nobody said anything as we all got up to leave. I happened to be next to Hillary when we were walking out. She slipped her arm through mine and whispered to me, 'I'll tell you what. We should have that concoction. You should mix it up first and give me a portion.' We burst out laughing and couldn't stop." Hillary Clinton's ability to laugh at such a moment of peril for her marriage and her husband's presidency not only signaled an awareness of her husband's philandering, but showed that she was trying to make the best of a lot of things, recalled French. "She knew my circumstances, and I knew some of hers." That moment offered a revealing glimpse into a relationship that has fascinated and often mystified the American public. The intensity of the Clintons' ambitions and the complexities of their marriage and political partnership had a profound impact on his presidency. In many respects, Bill and Hillary strengthened each other as force multipliers. Hillary's mother suggested that for them, 1 + 1 equaled a third kind of entity. Both had trained as lawyers and were equally versed in public policy. As president, Bill was the principal, and Hillary's designated role as First Lady was to serve his interests. But they were equals in their personal relationship, and she had her own policy agenda, with sufficient resources and staff to pursue it. This created the impression, particularly in the first 2 years of the Clinton administration, that the White House was the site of a co-presidency with overlapping agendas. The Clintons' temperamental differences and the tensions in their marriage intruded on policy, politics, and personnel in their presidential years. The Monica Lewinsky episode was the most egregious instance, but disquieting undercurrents were evident from the beginning. "There is a saying, 'If Mama's not happy, nobody is happy,'" said one top administration official. You could read her weather forecast on his face. Had the Clintons divorced, they would have been more fathomable. Instead, as Mary Mel French noted, the Clintons are complicated because they stayed together. Bill was 46 years old when he entered the White House, and Hillary was 45. They declared themselves the baby boomer version of Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, but the way they operated was more akin to John F. Kennedy and his brother Bobby, who served as Attorney General and operated as a de facto vice president while serving as the president's eyes and ears and closest advisor. Eleanor Roosevelt was strong, but she did not try to beat men at their own game, observed former Kennedy aide and Roosevelt biographer Arthur M. Schlesinger. Hillary does. Bill and Hillary Clinton came to the presidency with a long history of consulting each other on virtually every consequential policy and political decision. This pattern continued in the White House years, especially in areas in which Hillary had a strong interest. Mickey Cantor, a longtime friend who served as U.S. Trade Representative and Commerce Secretary in the Clinton administration, as well as an informal counselor when the Clintons were embattled by scandal, said, "Their lives had been so entwined, both personally and professionally, it has always been hard to distinguish who played what role. In the end, she had the first and last word when it was something important. There was no issue I was around that she wasn't critical to." Hillary considered Bill a force of nature. Yet nearly everything about him was contradicted by something else. His wide-ranging intellect could be overridden by lapses in everyday common sense. He was by turns empathetic and self-absorbed, focused and undisciplined, cerebral and